Hello and welcome to the Jaybe Font channel. I'm your host, James Fauntleroy. So good to see all of you here. I have my special guest with me. He is an activist, organizer. Mr. Justin Blake is joining me from Wisconsin. It's so nice to have you. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, dear brother, for having us. How are you this evening?
All right. Thank you so very much. One of the reasons why that I think it was really organized. Our meeting was organized by Joey Peltier. Shout out to him for getting us together. One of the things that you're doing is going to be a annual block party. I think this is the 5th annual that you're having. And this is more of not just a block party as people would think. This is more of a community event, a mutual aid event that you're doing. And I would just like to highlight that, as well as the activism that you have been doing. That's really a legacy within your family, if we can discuss that as well. So as far as your family and your legacy and activism, if you can give us just a quick 50,000-foot synopsis overview of why you're doing what you're doing and how has that been instilled in you, and why you're doing this block party for the community.
Well, brother, thank you again for having us. And thank you to my dear brother, Joey Peltier, and his sister, Gina, who are hellified activists. And obviously their uncle, that just was fresh released out of federal custody after 40-some years, Leonard Peltier. The time was overdue, and it's overdue for Jeff Ford. It's overdue for Larry Ford. It's overdue for a lot of other political prisoners. Let me say that first. Secondly, for our family, some people can wake up, shake it off, and get into other things or get back to business as usual or do whatever. It's been a gift and a gift and not such a blessing sometimes to have it in your DNA. When I say that, what do I mean? My great-grandfather was a Pullman porter, which was one of the first black unions in the United States. That was our great-grandfather. Our grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman and trained a lot of pilots that went over and fought in the war. He himself wanted to go, and I believe later on in life as an adult, that led to some tricky and bad habits. But I think that ate away at him, that he wasn't able to go fight in the war, but he had sent all these other gentlemen. That's our own personal perspective. That's nothing that we know to be fact, but that's just what we think as a man. And after you train all those guys and they go over there and did a hell of a job as the Tuskegee Airmen, and you were just training and couldn't be involved in some of the winning, I think may have played some part in his latter life, although he was quite successful and traveled the world. Then our father was a minister, a civil rights activist, marched 3 times with Martin Luther King. Prior to that, he was one of the first black BAs in steel mills, and was trained up quite significantly to go out and organize and do things like that. And my mom's in the next room. I can't remember. There used to be a picture that sat in our house, and for many years, she really didn't know what this little raggedy house was. And apparently, it was the house that just got burnt down in gosh, I can't remember. It was somewhere southeastern. That was the house that many people had been trained at for civil rights. And I can't recall the name of it right now, but there was a placard that came on the show, and she was like, "That's the house." And I was like, "What you talking about?" And it said that Martin Luther King, many of the extraordinary people that came through the 50s and the 60s had been trained at this house. And I will get the name of it for you. But at any rate, my father marched with Martin Luther King 3 times, went over to South Africa, raised a lot of money for the AME church, built the church on the south side of Chicago, built and retook back a church in Indiana, Gary, Indiana. There's a building now that stands erect in Evanston, Illinois, called the Jacob Blake Manor. Reverend Jacob Blake Manor was our father, who he had passed 30 or more years, and they elected to still put this building up in his name down the street from another building that he built, I think in 73, called Prim Towers, who was the name of the bishop at that time, that he named that building after, which came out of a presidential kind of funding that he had to raise the seed money for, which he did. and then they built this senior citizen building. So within half a mile, no less than a mile area, there's 2 buildings in Evanston, Illinois. One that our family built out of the ground that still stands 40 years later, called Prem Tower, that holds a couple of hundred seniors. And then on the other end of that street, Emerson, Illinois, is the Jacob Blake Manor. So our people have been fighting for hundreds of years up to this point, and therefore I can't roll over and go to sleep. We've been fighting and taking issue with the mistreatment of our people. We look back, and my mom's putting it all together. 6th grade, 8th grade, we were doing things in school to fight things that weren't right. High school, we were the captain of the varsity football team our junior year, and we had the young brothers meet us behind the football stadium, and we were going into this Black History meeting. Well, we only had one day to celebrate Black History Month, and our Jewish counterparts had 2 weeks or a week or whatever it was, and we thought this was unjust. So I had everybody put on sunglasses and trench coats, and we walked into this thing 200 some deep and shut it down.
Oh, what?
I promise you. And so I bumped into some of the guys who we graduated from. They were like, "God, we were something else." And so the dean dismissed us and told us we would never be together as an organized group until we graduated. And from freshman year to the time we graduated Evanston Township High School, we were never all in one auditorium ever again. But we let them know we were not going to be mistreated. We were not going to let you just slide by and give us an afternoon or one day to talk about Black History Month. And he gave our Jewish counterparts an entire week plus to celebrate them. So I think it's been in us for quite a time, brother. We love people. People respond to us because they, I think, recognize our authentication, and that, you know, I'm one of them guys that you can see at 2 a.m. up under the bridges downtown Chicago feeding people. And then I walk into a board meeting the next day and take care of our community's business. And so when people see or hear us speak, I think they can hear some of our ancestors coming out.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Thank you so very much for going over your family history, because ultimately, you know, who was it? It was a comrade of mine. Her name was Josana. She said, "Our very existence is an act of resistance."
She should coin that phrase. That really, I mean, bro, that is it. I've never saw it broken down in so few words. But yeah, I mean, just us being alive, brother, after what our people have been through is like a sheer miracle. Not really, but it shows how much God has shone upon us and how much favor and how much grace we have received. And so now we're at a very pinnacle point. We believe in this country's history and this world's history, that African Americans, our continents, loosen up and kicking foreigners out of there, the Europeans that have stole, taken, raped, and done everything and murdered and done everything they were big enough to do to leave our continent now. We have great leaders. Bianca Austin's going to be up here, which is Breonna Taylor's aunt. Chairman Fred Hampton's going to be here to help celebrate with us, and many more. Little Smitty, Sunan Smith from Milwaukee, man, his brother got assassinated by the police, and instead of him being turned, he was a violent young kid apparently at one point, and had a lot of issues at one point. Let me just say that as a kid. But after that happened to his brother, he's been an activist. He's trained young kids. He takes them on outings. He's an entrepreneur now, owns a CBD shop, his lady friend, and hopefully soon to be fiance. I'm not trying to push it, Sudan, but his girlfriend has a shop adjacent to his. They're doing phenomenal work. The Anderson family out of Milwaukee, whose son had also been assassinated by the police, are going to be at the place of the, let me say their name right, back in the 70s or early 80s. There was a family who was like one of the first families in Milwaukee to be assassinated by the police, are going to be present. So we're
Wow.
blessing their families like we did when the mic was turned on us. We continued to turn the mic on them so they could tell their story. So I've never been a mic hog. Our family's not like that. We don't get down like that. We were in their neck of the woods, and we thought it was only just that they should be able to revisit their story. So now the nation knew that this didn't just start with little Jake. This type of activity had been taken on from Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. And you're referring to your nephew, Jacob Blake, who was shot by police about a few years ago. And he survived. He was paralyzed from his gunshot wounds from the police that happened. And in resulting, just to let the audience know, in the resulting, protests for that, that's when somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse shot a couple of protesters as well. And then we got the whole issue about Kyle Rittenhouse that happened out of that.
He murdered him, bro. He murdered him.
Yeah, it was murder. And so, so one of the things that I actually wanted to touch on, because we're focused on a lot of history that we're trying to uphold so that it doesn't get lost. And by doing the mutual aid that you're doing, and by giving attention to what's happening to a lot of families in this country, one of the things I actually want to get your opinion on this particular thing that is happening as we speak. We have the Trump administration that is actually wanting to take a look at the African American Museum. And so this is out of, it says Trump administration orders review of African American Museum exhibits sparking pushback. And then it talks about how Donald Trump and the White House announced that the African American exhibits at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History and other museums nationwide will undergo reviews. Says the administration said the reviews are intended to ensure exhibits present what the president described as fair and not woke view of America. And so he's getting a lot of pushback and a lot of criticism for this. Do you see this as something that is fair, or do you see this as something that's potentially dangerous, especially given the actions that you're trying to do in upholding the historical record of what's been happening to many of us, whether it be Native Americans and African Americans or Black Americans here in this country?
Well, my dear brother, the bell has been rung and the fight has been started. It's a clear frontal attack on our integrity, our history, every aspect of the African Americans that built this country. The reason we're the richest country to this point of this day and age is because of 300 plus years of free labor that was provided for by our ancestors. You cannot have a house without a foundation. It'll crumble into itself. So you thinking you can remove what our ancestors built? There's no such thing. I was just sitting with a pastor who made a donation to the Block Party only hours ago, and he's explaining through his lens the racism that's sown into religion. And I never really heard it from that aspect. And when you hear that the Baptist Church were the one who helped seed some of the some of our HBUs, and how deeply embedded it is in religion, how deeply it's embedded in the school books that we all read. It's like, and that's another reason we used to get in trouble in school was our mom was a social worker and came from an educator family. She had her degree at 16, 19, whatever. This very young woman who came out of DePaul, who was damn sure going to make sure her children knew what was going on in the world. So we're getting more of a correct history at home, and then we go to school and hear something else. So, you know, a brother like us, I'm like, oh, that ain't right. That ain't right, man, cuz I was awful and awesome. I'm sorry, commonly in the principal's office, not for like being disruptive for joking around, but man, I don't agree. And you're not going to make us agree. That's not history. That's his story. That's his story, not history. So with my mom being a graduate and her mother being a graduate and running one of the largest Head Start programs on the south side of Chicago for the ME Church, we knew better. And you're not going to be able to just flim-flam us. And so many times that's why we ended up in the principal's office. Sometimes it became an interaction with the teacher. We couldn't they didn't want to let go because they didn't know better, bro. They had believed what they were teaching. You know what I mean? And so it just led to this going back and forth with a student, which I know they don't want to tolerate. And I understand as an adult, that's something else. But that's like when we finally got to college and our college professor, as I'm winding down college and I'm in, 400 courses and above, is telling us how we only needed Martin Luther King. That would have been good enough for the civil rights. And I immediately checked his butt. Hold up, family. We had everything stripped from us. We needed a multiple pronged attack in order to gain some of this back. And to this day and age, we haven't gained very much back, but we have some essence of being African with my little beads and my little beard and my little fro. And look at you, brother. We have a culture, bro. And we're not just going to let it go because you're trying to take it. We have to fight for the democracy. You have to fight democracy. We have to fight for the right to be called what we want to be called. We've been called Negro, Black, African American. We didn't call it a lot. But whatever we want to be called, that's up for us to decide. And so what was in that museum should stay in that museum. Most people, a young sister, man, I got to get her name to you after the show. She's awesome. Every morning I wake up and she's dropping some more knowledge. Well, and this I already knew, but when they killed Nat Turner, do you know what they did to Nat Turner after they hung him?
I think they ate his body, something like that.
Okay. Some did. They made oil. They boiled his body down to an oil. They skinned him and used his skin to make purses and other little things out of him. They kept his skull and put it on a shelf for display. So what kind of people are we talking about, brother? They want to point us and call us the bad guy, and we're the one hiding in the bush and the one why alarms are selling so many alarm services like we're the boogeyman. You've been the boogeyman. You took Native Americans a land. You took other African descendants that had been on this continent before slavery. You took their land. You took people from Africa, raped them, stole them, and enslaved them. Caucasians and Europeans did that. So for them always constantly to be repointing the finger or trying to put the spin on gang banging on the south side of Chicago. Dude, y'all, the federal people, you can see they're nothing but gang bangers with ICE uniforms and masks on that go get women and children, bro. And there's rules, because I'm Blackstone. There's rules in the street that we would not do. You don't shoot kids. You don't do things with old ladies, old people. That's out. They're doing that now. So who's the real gang? Who's the real criminals?
Mm-hmm.
But we've been fed that we were, and we're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look what the United States is funding right now. There's literally a modern day Holocaust going on in Palestine right now. Right? If the United States is willing to fund that, if they're willing to use the CIA in order to funnel drugs like cocaine into our neighborhoods, if they're willing to do look the other way while they're doing experiments on us and our bodies, it shows that it's like when they called the Native American savages.
Come on, bro.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Most people don't know from the Americas. I was trying out for a football team while I was overseas in school in Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know in the Americas, we pulled up some ships to an island with our own Navy guys on them. We knew there were people on this island, and we exploded the biggest atomic bomb. It vaporized an island. There were other African descendants or islanders, but they're African descendants. They look like us, brother, that had so many issues, it was not even funny for generation after generation. So when I mentioned the people that were on the boats, those were white boys. Those were Americans that they didn't care nothing about. They said, pull the boats up. You're okay. Pull it up. A little closer, and then blew a bomb up. So and that's what I try to help people with. It's not just a black thing. It's a us thing, because they call you nigga too. If you don't have enough money, if you're in a certain economic bracket, if you can influence or turn around your own circumstances, then my friend, you are nigga in their eyes. And just like they went out in Mojave Desert and blew up a bomb with more white boys standing there with glasses on close to the bomb and the impact. So come on, family, let's get for real. Let's partner up. Let's team up. Let's agree to disagree. And let's take on the real people that's doing the damage to us.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest issues is that we are told that certain groups that don't have any power are the ones that are making our lives worse, when in reality, it's the people that wear $5,000 suits and sitting in boardrooms. It's like, it's not that person that you may not agree with their lifestyle, and then they're the reason why this country's going down. No, this country's been going down ever since its inception. I mean, even before this country was founded, when colonizers came here, this country was going down because look what they did to the Native Americans. Then they stole our ancestors and brought them over here. They kidnapped them, brought them here, for slave labor.
Let's get dirty in the conversation, brother. We don't have to be nice. I don't, I'm one of them guys. Do you think Diddy was the only one doing what Diddy does? Family. This is what Diddy was doing, has been going on through the inception of this country. Mm-hmm. Taking slave women, doing whatever you want to with them, and tossing them back like garbage. Native Americans doing what you want to them, tossing them back. But they don't do Epstein. They don't do all these other guys that have done that. But they utilize what's Bill Cosby to front him off like these are what black people do. No, this is what you've done to us that some of us have picked up that continue to do it. Those who have been hurt others. Those who have been raped or molested molest others. We already know that. So unfortunately, our culture and other cultures pick up the worst things from our colonizers. You know what I'm saying? And it's successful. The more you become white, the more you become successful. The more you dress, talk, or carry yourself as white or want to front off our people. So we went on the man strip this weekend and we were talking about Mahatma Gandhi. I said, well, man, most people don't know how racist he was. He's a very racist man against African Americans specifically. But we had a brother that was an Indian around. He said, man, he sold his own people out, put on the cloak of the Europeans, became part of their system, and then thrashed that system back on his people. So you got to ask yourself, was his good overwhelmed the bad? You got to ask yourself, did we benefit enough for him for what he did to his people? Yeah. So all these guys, man, that are these stepping fletched black people with these rags on their head and that are willing to do anything to be up next to the orange-faced guy and think they're going to reap benefits. What is that guy gotten? What's that goofy dude? Looked like he was on Fat Albert. That's a senator that tried to run for like Senate.
Tim Scott.
Why would you have to call him out like that, bro? He was like, Tim Scott. Yes, that dude. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Why are people like him ready to slide up on the bus and gain nothing from it? What did he gain from all that he did, the step inflection and the sambo dancing, to help the orange face dude? What did he get from it, bro? A white wife and often somewhere in whatever land, that's what you call valuable? Come on, fam. So the day and age of us sliding up under, let me just, before we go forward, I know you heard when Rick James says cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that when he received that award after cussing the lady out from backstage?
Yep.
One of his statements was cocaine was a hell of a drug. Well, I'm here to tell you, white influence, white power is a hell of a drug. And our people need to stop biting on it. It's a hell of a drug to be around the aura of what we consider and what we interpret after being colonized, to be power and to want to be around it so bad that you would sell your soul. Judge Thomas, the Fat Albert dude, and many others that slide up under these chairs and could be used like they used to use my ancestors for warming their feet at night.
Mm-hmm. Now, your description of Tim Scott as a dude from Fat Albert is way better than what I had a description of him in my head. I used to call him the cream of wheat man, but it is.
I think they're close, bro. We're close. We're running. But I think to pick some just right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. With the somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle.
It's incredible, bro. It was just time that young brothers like yourself and us, we empower each other. And then we end up finally in some room with these guys and are able to counter what they're saying, or with your beautiful show that you have that goes out into the sphere, that you're able to hear a rich perspective of two educated African descendants that refuse to participate in any foolery, mockery, or anything of our people of the sort.
Yeah.
So he's not a leader, brother. We got to watch how we use the term leader. He's not a leader.
No. People, the leaders that, people who I view as real leaders are people that I've seen that some of them have passed because the state wanted them dead, right? You have our Fannie Lou Hamers. Yep. You have our Assata Shakur. Assata Shakur, she's still in exile in Cuba.
Correct.
You have people like Fred Hampton, Chairman Fred Hampton.
Her daughter last year. Shakur, we're with her. It was Tupac Day in Wisconsin. I don't know why they did it. As many African Americans did a #1 state in the nation that jails African descendants, but somehow they have a Tupac Day. At any rate, we were with Chairman Fred, called us and said, "Little bro, I need you to come down here." And he was in Milwaukee, so I go to the hotel. We stay the night, and we stay up all night talking smack and get up the next morning. And we're going to speak at a juvenile detention center. Okay. And Yo-Yo was there with his beautiful Down sister, and she was accompanying Tupac's sister that day. And so we go into the juvie system and speak. And bro, the kids jumped up when it was over, and man, we're hugging and embracing the speakers that were there. And like, we understand we got to be on a mission. When we got there, we were supposed to be later down the line, but I saw some things I just couldn't stomach. And so I was the first one. I sort of jumped the thing off before it's supposed to get going. I asked the young people, man, where we come from, whether you're a gangster, stone, vice lord, you from the streets or from a classroom, we come from order in Chicago, brother. And y'all are getting ready to have something gifted to you that is going to change your life. Can y'all do uncles a favor, please? They all said, what up? And I mean, and I said, man, please sit up. Let's all sit up, And from there, after that, it set the ground for everybody who came behind us for them to receive what was being said. Chairman Fred set it on fire. Tupac's sister lit it up. Yo-Yo was on her game. And there was another brother that spoke. There was a poet or something like that. I can't recall his name. But it was a cast of brothers and sisters that really just wanted to spend time with the young people, let them know, we are you. We're you. We were you. You know how many dead people we know from 87 coming out of high school in Evanston and being on the south side of Chicago and kicking on the west side that aren't here anymore? Brother, it could have been us. It could have been us. Yeah. It could have been us, bro. Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm any better than anybody else. I treat everybody from big suits to no shoes the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you are embodying that as we speak. I want to share the flyer from the block party that you guys be holding, because I wish I can go, because
Right.
this look,
It's gonna be off the
it looks
chain.
fun.
Yeah, we've got a hell of a crew that's on board with us, helping us put it together. We have over 40 different organizations. We didn't want to get all the money in big checks at one sponsoring place. So we got 1,000 here, 5 here, 200 here, 100 here, 100 here to be able to make this happen. We have free horseback riding from a sister that we knew that used to come get free horseback riding in front of my store in Inglewood, Chicago, brother. If you've ever heard about Inglewood, it ain't no games going on. And we used to bring what they call the carnival to Inglewood with the Jesse White tumblers and horseback riding. Now she also has a petting zoo. We got bouncy houses, free food. We're giving away bicycles that day. We're giving away backpacks that day, face painting, food that day. I'm working on trying to get a truck down so we can hand out groceries as well. Jerk Taco
Ooh.
Man, who's been one of our biggest supporters out of Chicago, will be showcasing its food again at our 5th annual. We got some curry chicken. We got all kind of food going on. Great Jamaican music and some other DJs. Becca from I want to frontline her. Becca, sister that just became a professional singer a couple of years ago out of Milwaukee, who's the girlfriend of Sudan Smith, whose brother was murdered by the cowardly Milwaukee police, is going to come and sing for us. And it's going to be one of them days. And so when I was leaving the pastor's office just now, I had to explain to him how it came about. Well, it started when Orange Face was in office, and he made an announcement that he was coming to the airport in Kenosha. We had 5 days to put on the event. I called back to the Chicago to Uncle Jesse, and I said, man, I know you're not feeling well, but if you could come again. Uncle Jesse ran up and down that road, and I'm not 105%. Unc did some bad things back in the day, and some things we probably don't agree with, and I'm outright saying that, but I love him. And everybody makes mistakes, but when it counted for the Blake family, he showed up. So he came to an event, and we had reporters from Germany, France, all over Europe, Africa, the islands, plus CNN, plus NBC, MSNBC, plus all these other different marketers, because podcast, all that was really just hitting heavy. And when Lil Jake got shot, we empowered the African American brothers and sisters, because I told him I wasn't speaking to any Caucasian or European person about some Europeans shooting my nephew, i.e., translating to us doing our first interview with Sarah off of CNN. And after that, they started sending down African American people to interview us, Don Lemon and many others, understanding that, man, I wasn't going any other way, and it empowered people in smaller stations who were being set on secondary and tertiary assignments. This was the hottest spot, and they were getting it because that's all we were taking. Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Indianapolis, Ohio. They had heard what was happening, sending African Americans to come interview us, brother. So that's how the block party started. We had over 1,000 people out there. The microphone setup had at least 75 to 100 microphones on one stand, if you can imagine that. Stands were buckled together by Honda straps. You couldn't see the Honda straps because they were low, but they were leaning and doing all this, and they needed to hold it together. So, some of the engineers went to their trucks and banded several microphone things together to be able to hold a press conference for us, Uncle Jesse, and many other people that came that day. Senator Taylor, who's now Judge Taylor, and many others that supported us that day, many other organizations, civil rights leaders, and just individuals came that day. And that's how the block party got started. And we've been trying to carry it on year after year. We've had about 500 one year, 300 one year. But this year we're shooting for another 1,000 to 1,500 to show up and show out. with issues around Palestine, around Congo, around Social Security, around all of these issues, around ICE. These were issues. So what happened to Breonna Taylor? Walked up in her crib, started firing. Dude,
Yeah.
go on your everyday YouTube or Google. You can see police officers walking in white people's crib doing that now.
Yeah.
Shooting people or pulling people, whatever. It's like the dope game. They let it run feverishly through the African-American community till it started going in their community. That's when it was trying to pump the brake.
And now they're trying to go to war with Venezuela because for some reason they're like, oh, well, it's coming here across the border. Yet Donald Trump was the same one that said, I stopped the drugs from coming in. I'm like, I thought you said you stopped the drugs from coming in. Now you want to go to war with a president that has nothing to do with the drug cartels. And now you're trying to go to war with another country. And I thought you said you weren't going to be, you said you were going to be a peace president. Next thing you know, now we're going into war. We already bombed Iran, things like that. It's crazy. And so now we're going to create more refugees. And then guess where they're going to come? You know, doesn't make any sense.
And if they don't come here, brother, in the front of their dome, right here, and in the small brain that's back here, they're digesting illness towards the United States, that things like 9/11 are going to happen at a bigger scale more often if we don't clean our hands of this devilish activity, brother. It happened in Central and Southern Americas back in the 70s. It happened all over Africa. We killed presidents and put people in. It just happened recently in Haiti. Who the hell were these dudes that landed and took the president and killed people around his place? Who were these people, man? Other than our people. Who has the power to just land on somebody's island, go to their president's house, kill everybody around that house, and take the president? Come on, bro.
So yeah, and then install. You know, they did this in Burkina Faso with Thomas Sankara, right? We did this the Salvador Allende out of Chile.
Come on, say the name.
We did this.
Patrice Lumumba, who's putting acid, who's putting a bucket of acid, brother, because he wanted to connect Africans to their wealth and unite them around them, their blackness, their culture, and the right to be an African and run African business. Come on, bro. Stephen Biko, you can go on and on and on. Name them, bro. So this hasn't just begun, but the day and age of this thing I'm holding in my hand, this thing is our freedom, because you can look some very crucial things up that you may not have known about. And so as we're on this men's getaway this weekend, and one of the white brothers asked us, man, when I saw you on ESPN, I mean CNN, whatever it was, you were so positive, and what gives you that vibe? And I explained to him that we don't have to physically move the pyramid in Egypt in order to gain our freedom. All we have to do is let something click in the back of our mind, and then say, oh, you're right. We must stick together. We cannot allow them to do this. What they read to us was in history was their story. What they've done to us is unjust. 50% of people jailed that look like us, but we're only 14% of the population. Home ownership at under 10%. Unemployment always triple in the African-American community. I mean, please stop it. And if you look, I know we look like this, brother, but I'm a political science major. And political science people go by numbers. So if you look at the numbers of how many people work for the federal government, if you strip them from that and kick them out, then the unemployment will really show you how racist this country is, because it will show how high the employment rate in the African-American community, like 4 or 5 times the rate of the national rate. So it's been padded. I read a book when I graduated. It was called The End of Work by David Ripken. It was a bestseller. And the white brother explained how white people know how important it is to work, and men puff their chest out when they work, and mentally and spiritually how working is just good for the soul. And to strip that from a man, come on, fam. Yeah, that were white jobs in our community because it's an equal opportunity employer. Why is alcohol? Same thing, equal opportunity employer.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I just talked about this about a week and a half ago. About over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs, especially since they were cutting a lot of federal jobs out of the federal government.
Yep.
And so now that's multiple households, families that have less income coming in, and now that's causing all these people who work in the federal government and the public sector. Now they're flooding the private sector. But as you can see, and you can look on TikTok, you can look on Instagram, people are posting, they've been posting hundreds, if not thousands of applications, and nobody's hiring. So therefore, what does that mean? And we're not even counting, we're only counting the people who are unemployed for so many months. What about the people who are beyond that? And now on top of that, homelessness, and I live in Orlando, Florida, homelessness just exploded. Homelessness went up 156% in 3 years.
Woo! Are you talking about just in Florida alone?
This is that just the city of Orlando.
In Orlando. Okay. Wow. Wow, yeah. Bro.
Percent increase in 3 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, if we allow this punk to, and I'm talking about Orange Face, if you understand, I didn't read the whole entire thing, but I've breezed through it, and I've had other people who've been kind enough to give me some high points out of 2025. Mm-hmm. It's based upon a book that was written in 17 something or 18 something after Willie Lynch wrote his letter. Some of what Willie Lynch wrote was in there, some of what somebody else wrote, and the basic was how to dominate the entire culture. Mm-hmm. Well, if we're unemployed and we're virtually, what are the Fugees? The Fugees were basically you come from places that you have no house, you have no economy, you have nowhere to go. So therefore, you can do anything with us. We are not going to be forced back into slavery in 2025. All hell will break loose. It will not go like you think it's going to go. And so I tell people, we know how many guns white people have because they're registered. You don't know how many guns are in Chicago because they're not. When those trains stop and the insurance company take the money that comes when the trains are hit every week, every month, every year for the last 35 years of my life, where you think those guns are, fam? They don't disappear. So you thinking, let's put a whole bunch of people and you're going to roll them over. Dude, is the worst thing to put some damn National Guard in Chicago. You're going to get somebody's son killed. They're weekend warriors. They're not policemen. They learn to fight and how to go to war. You don't learn how to police people. And you damn sure don't know how to police a free Black man.
What did Gil Scott Heron say? He said that the revolution will not be televised.
Come on, bro. Come on. So,
boy, I'm looking at Chicago right now, and I'm just like, it's about to happen. And friend to the channel, Kit Cabello at Harlan's Media, he's in Chicago, and he's talking about how this could be explosive.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. You're one of the most progressive cities in the world, not just the nation, man. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to LA. I've been all over this country. I've been to New York, and there's nothing against my New York East Coast 5%ers and all that demonstration there. I love them. But there's no greater free man in this nation than in Chicago. Do some history behind it. Once you understand the history behind it, you understand ain't no half-stepping, and you're not going to take nothing from us. We've worked too hard. We've been through so much turmoil. Our families have been ripped apart, and we know the history of the ripping apart. and would be damned if anybody's ever going to do that again.
Absolutely, very wise words there. Let me share the flyer once again. Also, if you can just let us know, like, if like where is it going to take place? I know it says 20th Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And you know, where can they find you, or where can they connect with you so that they can be able to attend and be able to help out if necessary. I see you have Mukwa, which is the
Yeah.
association that Joey
Yeah.
Peltier is with. You have Jewish
Yeah.
Voices for Peace. You have the
Yeah.
New Era Young Lords. You have Party for Socialism and Liberation. You have
Yeah.
so many different groups here that I'm excited for y'all. I'm also a little bit jealous because we have free hot dogs, burgers, and popcorn. You have me at free hot dogs, burgers, and popcorn. You can tell I'm
Yes.
hungry.
Yes.
But this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be this Sunday, coming Sunday on August 31st.
Well, our nephew was actually shot yesterday, and we are working in conjunction with Breonna Taylor's family through Bianca Austin, who's helping her charter a bus to come down with her crew. Her and my brother have an organization called Families United. We're working in cohort with Chairman Fred. So Chairman Fred celebration of his father is the 30th in Chicago, on the west side of Chicago. So please go to the Black Panther Cubs and get information about that. And please come out Saturday to celebrate, because we'll be there with him. Then on Sunday, you can come to 4018 28th Avenue in Kenosha, Wisconsin. You can go to Black Underground Recycling, which is our organization. Under Black Underground Recycling, we have the 5th annual Blake and Friends Block Party, which will give you more information. And there is I don't know if it's on this flyer, I can't see it really well, brother, but there's a QR code where people can make donations and help out. This year, we have a recycled clothes table. So we're taking soft to use clothes. Is it on there? I didn't see it on there.
I don't see a QR code.
That's okay. It's definitely on the one that's on the Black Underground Recycling 5th annual Blake and Family Block Party. So if people wanted to send money, they can, hit that and send it through. And so we're ecstatic about this, brother. Our community, that community in particular, and all over this country needs to heal. We've been through a lot, bro. 2021 isn't that far in the rearview mirror. And so we need to heal. This is the way we can heal ourselves. Who protects us? We protect us. Who protects us? We protect us. And we heal us. And so this is the way our family could land on the street to try to take attack our family. And it's a way for us thumbing our nose to the people, letting them know we still fight for justice. We shut down the president's dinner. In this media dinner, we fight for our globe and the wellness of the world. I think we're seeing a picture of Code Whatever, who teaches coding all over the city of Chicago and all over the country, so young people know how to code. They will be present. That's our sister Amelia on that picture there. But they can. If you would be kind enough, brother, I get Joey to send you the barcode where people can make donations. If you could post that for a couple of days for us, we'd be most appreciative. We've got checks coming in from who? SEIU, from churches, from Home Depot donating stuff, to we got to go pick up some stuff, hopefully from Walmart. Different local stores and organizations are tired of being tired, brother. And they see it as a comrade that has never stopped serving the people since they shot our nephew. And if you've been in the streets of Chicago or New York, anywhere, there's something called false flagging, which means eventually you let this persona down and you really show who you are. Bruh, we've shown who we are day after day. This is who this Blake man is. We keep showing up. We keep fighting for justice. Who's drinking the worst water? Who's smelling the worst air? That's our African American people. So hell yeah, I went up to DC to fight for it with some organizations I'm no longer going to mention. But at that time, we were going viral with millions seeing our videos. Joey helped build that organization. His sister helped build that organization. We helped build that organization that we were fighting to make sure the climate was going on a correct path. I went on a 22-day water fast up here in Wisconsin to try to get a bill passed down in Madison. It didn't work, but we lost 40 pounds. Say that to say, brother, there's enough fight for enough of our people to get in on. Please don't lean back, brother. It's not time to lean back. It's time for everybody to sit up, eat right, stay prayed up, and find something you can clamp onto that you believe into and stand up. I end with saying this, brother. My father used to say there's a difference about black men and other men, or one thing for sure is all men die, but black men are gonna die standing up and coming at you. So we don't have no time for knees or sitting down or somewhere in the back room bent over. We're gonna come at you with the truth. We're gonna give it to you unadulterated and uncut. And we have, because of that fact, sit down with some very influential senators, Congressman Uncle Danny Davis, proud of Brother Jonathan Jackson is doing a superb job. Although some of these people have taken money from the Jewish people, not Jewish, but what do you call them? Zionists. They give money. What's that? The A Block, AI, whatever. APAC. Thank you, dear brother. That control our Congress and our policies and our government. So we have to be like, bro, I did take that money. It wasn't right and it wasn't worth it. And I'm done. Because now I got to go see my God and say that I cut a check to shoot over thousands of kids in their temple. Headshots. Women, old women, chest shots, middle range. See, when you shoot in the middle or you shoot somebody's dome, that's not by accident, my dear brother. That is definitely a plan. Yeah. So we love you and we thank you. We thank your station for having us tonight, brother. Please come out if you're in the Midwest. Drop in on us, brother. We'll change your life to see the love that's going to take place on a block that so much hate was shown up on. No man in the Wild West, if you shot somebody in the back, even if you was a lawman, they would hang your ass. It's cowardly, and it's something that we're not going to stand for then nor now.
Absolutely. Everybody, Professor Jacob Blake, Justin Blake, I'm sorry. Good to see you.
Black and green, unity now, brother. One Africa. Let's go.
Yep, definitely. Thank you so very much. And I can't wait to have another conversation with you very soon in the future.
Please and thank you, brother. All you got to do is hit us, reach out with yours, brother. Let's do it again.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, dear brother.